Hello everyone! My name is Felician Fritz from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Serian. The school code is YEB 8205. The book that I am going to review is titled The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man was written by H.G. Wells and published in 1897. First and foremost, here are some informations about the author of the book, H.G. Wells. Herbert George Wells, better known as H.G. Wells, is a British author best known for his works in the science fiction genre, such as The Time Machine, The War of the Worlds, and the work we will be examining today, The Invisible Man. A novella about how science, if isolated and unchecked by morality, can lead to trouble. Wells, now known as the father of science fiction, was born on September 21st, 1866 and died on August 13th, 1946. The Invisible Man is a science fiction novella about a scientist named Griffin who turns himself invisible. Griffin intends to use his invisibility for debauchery, but finds he feels isolated, and that isolation drives him to madness and terrorism. The novella is an allegory of the dangers of unchecked science. The story begins when a mysterious man comes to Iping village in the middle of a snowstorm. He checks into an inn owned and run by the husband and wife, George and Jenny Hall, as not to be bothered at all, and goes to his room with his luggage. This man is Griffin, a scientist who spends his days in his room fussing about his chemicals and formulas. Griffin does go outside at night, however, completely bandaged up and wearing a fake nose. The villagers find him very peculiar, especially since weird break-ins and robberies start happening in the village. Things come to a head when Jenny Hall asks him to pay his overture rent or leave, and he, out of desperation, takes off all his bandage and clothes and literally disappears into the night. Griffin makes Thomas Marvel, a tramp or migrant worker, his assistant. However, Marvel rats him out to the police and Griffin runs away again. On the run once again, Griffin meets Dr. Kemp, someone he knows from medical school. Griffin tells Kemp about his experiment with invisibility as well as his current mad plan to terrorize England using his invisibility discovery. However, Kemp realizes Griffin has gone mad and gives him up to the police. Griffin then breaks through the police line and chases Kemp into the town, where the locals capture and kill Griffin. At the end, we find that Marvel has saved Griffin's knot he took from his room at the inn, but perhaps thankfully he can't make heads or tails out of that. The moral of the story that we can learn from this book is that science that is left unchecked can become dangerous, and we must think rationally before we make any decision. Well, I guess that's all from me. Goodbye.